Welcome to the Discover Montcalm Podcast, where we're going to take a look at the communities, the businesses, the attractions, and the people that make up Montcalm County. Here is your podcast host, Dwayne Weed.
Hello, I'm Dwayne, and I'm the host and producer of Discover Montcalm, and I have Katrina and Paul here from the Greenville Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you both for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Dwayne.
I'm going to start with the hardest question of all. What is a chamber?
A chamber, oh goodness. I ask people this all the time to see what they have to say, and usually people say, oh, it's something to do with business, and that's absolutely true. Chamber of Commerce primarily serves a business community, and we get to do lots of other fun stuff too, but we serve our business community by making connections. So that's, if I'm trying to whittle it down to the simplest form, we make connections between business and people and resources, and just providing ways for them to connect to each other and to get the things that they're looking for their business.
As the chamber, you're kind of a jack of all trades. People think that you do so much. What are some of the things that people call the office and ask you for?
It can range anywhere from, where can I walk my dog, to where's the hospital at, to where can I, eat, where can I stay? Lots of different questions that might not necessarily be associated with the chamber, but we just try to answer people's questions with the best knowledge that we can. And if we don't know it, maybe we know somebody who knows it.
And we never know who's stopping in. Yeah. We recently, during the Danish Festival, things were getting set up, streets were being closed, and somebody from out of town that was staying down at the Winter Inn stopped in and just blatantly asked, what is going on around here? And so we were able to say, well, what do you mean, ma'am? And so she referenced, the street closure. And so...
What is this thing that happens? Montcalm County does not really have a convention and visitors bureau, so you're kind of playing the role of that. Where people call and ask, what's going on? Where do I do this or where do I do that?
Yeah.
Does that add any burden to what you guys are doing, or do you think that's kind of fun to be able just to help people?
I think that's the fun part about it, is you get to talk to people about where they're from, if they're, moving here, if they're just visiting, if they're out of town. You get a lot of different stories, and that's the fun part, I think, of it.
I think that a lot of people, when they're traveling, they call the Chamber of Commerce assuming that they just do everything.
Yeah.
And, I know that when we travel, we'll call ahead to say, what's going on? We don't show up and go, oh, what's this festival? but maybe we do, because we want to know what's going on in the area. Now, you're the Greenville Area Chamber of Commerce, which means area means that how far out does your membership actually reach?
Yeah, right now, I think the farthest, one of our most recent members is in Illinois, but they actually work with Consumers Energy, and so that's their connection into our community. But locally, we have a member in Alma. We have a number of members in Grand Rapids area. Most of them are right around Montcalm County, but yeah, we stretch out pretty far.
So you're in charge of member services. You are the executive. I was corrected earlier. He's the executive. I should have a crown or something here for him. But you're the executive director, and both of you are fairly new to this position. You started and you came like a couple months. So It was last year. It was 2021 that you came.
Just this past January, actually.
Oh, 2022.
So, yeah. So I'm just hitting my 8-month stride and learning something new every day.
Okay.
But it's been a great stretch so far.
And you came in
May.
You came in May.
Like middle of May.
So we have the executive director and the membership. What did I say here? Let's make sure I got it right. Member Services
Administrator.
Administrator. Ooh, we got official titles going on here.
Got to use the big words, the long words.
There's only 2 of us, so we need to have, need to make us feel
prestigious titles.
Yeah.
So, as the executive director, give me an overview of what your day-to-day job is all about.
Yeah, and so Katrina and I, we really see it as a partnership to a great degree, but kind of a lot of the maybe more difficult conversations that need to happen with members or members of the community usually will funnel through me. We'll have anything ranging from a very late invoice to somebody that was very unhappy with something that we've done recently, and I will typically take those calls or make those types of visits. But day to day, I mean, we're interacting with the community, we're planning events, we're running our social media, making our updates on our website, doing all sorts of different tasks.
And then your day-to-day is to service the members, but are you also out recruiting?
No, it sort of depends on the sense. It depends on the type of week that we have. We can do that. Again, Paul talks about it. It's very much a partnership. Like, it's very much, we each hold different skills from our past lives. So that helps us to be able to talk to different people, different types of industry. So somewhat recruiting. A lot of people will just come with questions. You asked the question earlier, well, what is a chamber?
Right.
What are you doing in here anyway? And sometimes it's answering that question. Sometimes it's, answering, well, I've been involved in the chamber heavily before, but I'd like to be again. And sometimes it's just connecting people with how they can be involved. So
let's go right there. How can somebody get involved? Let's say somebody in the Howard City or Coral or Carson City or wherever around the county wants to get involved. How do they go about becoming a member of the chamber?
Well, they have a couple ways. They can call us. They can, the easiest way is to fill out the form on our website. That comes directly to our email. So we can just touch base with them from there, kind of see what they're looking for, and get them submitted to our checklist, our processes.
So as a member, what's the advantage of being a member of the chamber? What are some of the things that, I'm looking at becoming a member? What can you offer me? So if somebody out there has a question, how do you answer that?
We like to try to just point back to the fact, because different types of businesses see different types of value or see value differently. And I think that's what Katrina was getting at, that depending on what they're looking for, we can, talk through some of those things. But really, I view it, the first thing that I think is the biggest advantage is being connected to other businesses. Whether you have you're a one-person, business, or you have hundreds of employees, by being connected to the chamber, you have the same advantages as each other. And so those can range from access to grants that you might not hear about otherwise, access to resources and information, networking opportunities, sponsorship opportunities, other advertising opportunities. So ways to get your name out there, to rub shoulders with people that you might not meet otherwise. But really, I see it's for kind of the greater good of the whole community. So by banding together, you're doing something together that maybe you couldn't do on your own, especially if you're that one-person business. Sometimes you can feel pretty small and just like, how could I actually make a difference? I think being connected to a chamber is a great way to start that.
Well, I think the biggest thing about membership, you get out of it what you put into it.
Definitely.
And the idea that if I'm a smaller business and I want to make that connection, I need to go to some of the events. Some of the, you call them business after hours. And while I'm there, I get a chance to network with other people. And one thing that I found through my years of connecting with people is I may connect with you, but you don't need my services. But you learn about what I do. So when you hear about somebody, and I think that's, you're like the connector, as you mentioned, and that's what a business can get out of it. If they just put their, say, a little sticker on the door and they don't do anything, you're still in the directory. You're still being referred. If somebody calls you, you're going to refer a chamber member, which is real important. I have Paul and Katrina from the Greenville Area Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to come back and talk some more about the county after this message from our sponsors.
We hope you're enjoying our podcast, and we'll be back after we thank our sponsors. West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions, your IT and web hosting experts, westmichiganhelpdesk.com, and DW Video, your source for video production, websites, and your local videotape, slides, and 8mm film transfer specialist. dwvideo.com. Now, back to our interview.
We're back with Katrina and Paul from the Greenville Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to go back into the history. How long has the Greenville Area Chamber been in existence?
Yeah, so the Greenville Chamber started in 1947. So actually, this is our 75th anniversary this year. It's a big one, and it's pretty exciting that we've been able to sustain that long. It's not easy in smaller rural communities, and so it's a testament to the area that we're in that people value the chamber. And so we've been in our building since 2014, but the building was built originally in 1867, which is just a beautiful place right on Main Street downtown, and it's a joy to go in such a historic building every day. Lots of history, lots of people that have come before us, and we definitely honor that. While trying to look forward and keep moving forward all the time. So yeah, long history, 75 years.
Goodness. Congratulations on that. And I understand you both come from the West Coast. No, they're not married. But you come from Oregon.
I do.
So your West Coast is like
The West
all
Coast.
the way. We've
West
been told. And you come from the Muskegon.
I come from the West Coast,
Yeah,
Muskegon.
Yeah. Right. Now that you've been here for a little bit, what is it about Montcalm County that you like the best? And I'll ask Katrina first.
Oh boy.
You know, you've had a chance to kind of go around and visit some of the county.
Yeah.
What is something that just sticks out that you're going, wow, this is nice?
Well, the difference between living in Michigan and living in Oregon is the scenery, for one thing. Y'all don't have any mountains. So when I go, okay, where's the West? I don't have a mountain to associate that with. So that's a little bit of the difference, but I like it. I enjoy the rolling hills, if you will. Somebody on the internet referred to cornfields as the waves of the Midwest. It's kind of true. Like, they're kind of beautiful in their own sense. So just the scenery alone has been phenomenal. In my previous job, I traveled a lot for work, so driving around a lot, seeing all of the different sights and scenery. It was really cool. We moved here in 2019, so right after we moved here, the pandemic hit, so we didn't get to go out and see a whole bunch of, sights and scenes and stuff. So the past about year and a half, we've really been able to go do that and just, see like Lake Michigan, and we haven't been to the dunes yet, but we've, done some of the downtown area in GR, been over to the east side of the state a little bit. So it's been just fun to explore.
And that's the beauty of this county, is that we can be rural.
Yeah.
We are. I mean, let's just say what we are.
And it's gorgeous.
and it's a little slower pace.
Yeah.
But yet we have access to, towns to the east, the south, and the north that are a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But we can come right back here. How about yourself? What have you discovered about Montcalm County that you're like, wow, this is kind of cool?
Yeah, I just think we're really blessed. First thing that comes to mind is the inland lakes. So coming from the west coast of Michigan and the Big Lake, that's my wife's happy place, and we love it over there. All our family's over there. We go over there pretty often, but she needed a place to be able to put her feet in the water, and so living right in Greenville, Baldwin Lake is a great spot for that. But there are so many inland lakes, and they're just beautiful. All of a sudden, we were driving over here today through Coral area, and I forget the name of the lake, but it was just there all of a sudden. I had no idea there was a lake, and then there was a lake. And I just think there's something beautiful about that, and the way that all the recreation that provides, and even in a rural area, there's so much to do like that.
I don't know the number, but I think there's over 200 in Montcalm County alone.
Unreal.
I'd believe it. They're just everywhere. You turn around, oh, there's a lake over there.
Why do you think the roads curve as much as they do? They're going around something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun. You talk about the chamber, being able to promote the chamber and the businesses. You have an industrial side, you have a business side, you also have attractions, because you kind of are like a CVB. So you're kind of hitting all of that. What other ways are you interacting with the community?
Yeah, so as you say that, our second largest category of businesses are nonprofits, which is amazing. We have 254 members as of today, and it's so diverse. And so because these different businesses have different needs, they have different goals, they have very different ways that they perceive value, as I mentioned before. And so we have to get to know them to really be able to communicate well and to understand those needs. And something that's very important to us is that no matter who we're talking to, it could be that person that calls randomly for a question, or a member stopping in, or just someone off the street. It's so important to us that every interaction is positive to the extent possible. Somebody could be upset with us or confused or whatever the case may be. We want that interaction to be positive, and to just figure out, okay, what are they looking for? Whether they're a member or not, what can we do to help you get to where you're trying to get? And so if I had to say anything, when I think of the diversity in those types of interactions, keeping it positive and doing our best to help people, that's really what we're all about.
And you can become a member, your business can become a member, your nonprofit, whatever it might be. Yep. And then you offer events that you try to bring people together, because as you've mentioned, it's about connecting.
Yeah.
It's networking. How are we going to know what's going on? And that's kind of the purpose of Discover Montcalm and the podcast here, is that I want the East Side to know what the West Side is doing, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And that's why when I reached out to you, I said, share what's happening around Greenville.
Yeah.
It's the biggest city in our county, but with that, there's a lot of other things going on, and you being a chamber, you welcome all the businesses in.
Absolutely.
Anybody that wants to become a member can. Now, can an individual join? Do you have like an individual membership?
We do. Yes, we have a handful of people, most of who are retired business owners that saw the value while they were in business and wanted to maintain that membership. And so, I think we're 8 or 10 individuals.
Well, and it's open for more. So if you want to become a member, you just fill out the form.
Yeah.
And I know your due structure is set up based on the size of the number of employees, that type of thing. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of things that you guys do that promote the area. And, the website address is?
GreenvilleChamber.net. GreenvilleChamber.net.
And when you go there, does it take you right to the Greenville Chamber, or because you guys also share a website with the city, right?
That's correct, we do. And so you'll be hit to a landing page. One half of it says City of Greenville, the other half says Greenville Chamber of Commerce. And so you just hit the button and go right into our side if that's what you're looking for.
Well, somebody gets there, they go, oh, I don't know, I thought I was just getting to the chamber. Well, you guys teamed up quite a few years ago to say, hey, we're servicing all of Greenville and the area.
Yeah.
But let's share space.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Is there been anything that I haven't asked that you would like to share, that you would like people to know about what you guys are doing over there?
We also have something very popular in the fall, Ladies' Night Out, so that's coming up. And then as we roll around back to the beginning of the year, really it's kind of all hands on deck to start getting ready for our annual golf outing, which I did for the first time last year, and that was a lot of fun. And then in the summer, we have something called Party on Lafayette, which is where we shut down our main street, and we have a big car show and a pizza contest. Two things that seamlessly go together. And it's a lot of fun because we get our pizza businesses involved, as well as fill the street with some really cool cars and trucks. So it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun amongst all the other day-to-day administrative and other things that we do. We also get to let loose and do some fun events too.
So that's the Greenville Area Chamber of Commerce. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them other social media.
Yeah, Instagram, LinkedIn. And then GreenvilleChamber.net.
You heard it from Paul. Thank you, Katrina, for stopping by. Remember to buy and shop locally.
Connect and subscribe to Discover Montcalm Podcast at discovermontcalmpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Discover Montcalm Podcast. To be featured in an upcoming show, contact Dwayne at 231-250-9624. Remember to subscribe at discovermontcalmpodcast.com.